Hello students, today we are going to learn a very wonderful poem. The name of the poem is Have You Ever Seen? The poet is anonymous, it means the poet is unknown. Before we start the poem, let us revise some terms which we have already studied in our previous classes. Homophones are the words having the same pronunciation but different meanings, origins or spellings. For example, new, new, meet, meet, allowed, allowed, arms, arms, break, break. If we study these examples, we will come to know that spellings are different but the pronunciation is same. Next, homographs. Homographs are words that have the same spelling but different origin, meaning and sometimes pronunciation also. For example, bear, fly, fan, bat, left. These are the examples of homographs. It is because bear has two meanings. One is to tolerate and the other is the animal with a shaggy coat. Fly. Fly has also two meanings. One is move through the air and the other is an insect. Bat is used in cricket and the other meaning is an animal. Left, one meaning is direction and the other meaning is past tense of leave. Let us use left in two different sentences. Address should be written at the left side of the page. Here in the first sentence, left shows direction. I left station sharp at 5 p.m. Here, left is the past tense of the verb leave. Students, I have already explained you pun. Pun is a figure of speech wherein there is a play upon words by exploiting multiple meanings of a term to evoke laughter or to create a better effect. Examples: when his wife died, he cried for a second. Next, living life depends on the liver. In poetry, when a question is asked not to get an answer but to emphasize a point of fact, it is an example of interrogation or rhetorical question. For example, if you prick us, do we not bleed? Will the scenario ever change for better? These are the examples of interrogation where answer is not expected. Now, students, let us know the central idea of the poem. This is a wonderful and interesting poem where the poet has made use of homographs and plenty of puns. Here, the poet tries to create humor by using pun-intended comparisons between literal meaning of a word and their use in the poem. Thus, the poet in the poem uses his imagination to describe homographs in a humorous tone. He conveys a message that things which are spelled the same are actually different in meaning and usage. Let us take an example of a needle. A needle has an eye, but it never winks. The eye of the needle has no movements like a body part. Let us understand the beautiful use of pun and homograph with the help of actual poem. Students, I recite the poem. You all will listen it carefully. Have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Has the foot of a mountain any toes? And is there a pair of garden hose? Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Or open the trunk of a tree at all? Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? Students, if you read the poem carefully, you will see that the poet has used various figures of speech like pun, interrogation, personification, alliteration. But pun is the common figures of speech used in each line of the poem. Who can tell me the rhyming scheme of the poem? The rhyming scheme of the poem is AABB. Students, let us study first stanza. Have you ever seen a sheet on a river bed or a single hair from a hammer's head? Students, here a sheet means a thin braid cloth used as a covering for a mattress, and riverbed means the bottom of the river, and it has no relation to a bed which we have in our houses. In the second line, head has also two meanings. The top of the hammer is called the hammer's head, and the poet is alternatively talks about the human head and refers to hammer's head as hairless. In the first line, the poet has used interrogation figure of speech. Has the foot of a mountain any toes, and is there a pair of garden hose? The foot of the mountain means the base of the mountain and has no relation to the human foot, and hence does not have toes like the human foot does. The poet further refers to a garden hose, which is a flexible tube used to water plants, that he compares to its homograph hose, which means a pair of stocking. Let us look at the next four lines. Does the needle ever wink its eye? Why doesn't the wing of a building fly? Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol or open the trunk of a tree at all? In the second stanza, first line, the word eye has two meanings. One is part of body and the other is tiny opening on the top of needle through which needle is threaded. The poet refers to the needle's eye and wonders if it winks like a human eye. Wink means closing and opening of one eye as a gesture of a joke or an indication of a secret. Students, can you identify which figure of speech is used here? Here, the poet has used personification. The needle is given the human quality of winking in the sentence. Next, why doesn't the wing of a building fly? The wings of a building are being compared to the wings of birds. Here, he is assuming that just like the wings of the birds help them to fly, the wings of the buildings should also help them to fly. Students, have you noticed two meanings of the word wing? One is part of building and the other is a body part of birds. Can you tickle the ribs of a parasol? Parasol means umbrella. The word ribs has two meanings. Parts of the human body, and the other meaning is part of umbrella that supports the curves. The ribs of an umbrella are homographically spoken about as if they are the ribs of the human body which we can tickle or open the trunk of a tree at all. Here, the word trunk has two meanings. One is part of a tree and the other meaning is a box that is used to store articles. Here, The poet is asking whether the tree trunk can be opened like a trunk. Let us study third stanza. Are the teeth of a rake ever going to bite? Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Can the garden plot be deep and dark? And what is the sound of the bird's bark? In the first line, teeth word has two meanings. First is parts of the human body, and the other meaning is long metal prongs on a garden tool used for clearing leaves, etc. Here the poet has made a reference to the teeth of a rake which he compares to human teeth, and he questions whether they can bite like human teeth do. Have the hands of a clock any left or right? Here the word hands has two meanings. First is parts of the human body, and the other is parts of a clock. He wonders whether the hands of the clock are right or left like human hands. Which figure of speech is used here? Antithesis. Antithesis is the figure of speech wherein the two opposite words left and right are used in the same sentence. Can the garden plot be deep and dark? Here the word plot has two meanings. One is a land area, and the other meaning is a wicked or cruel plan. The poet asks if the garden's plot can be dark and deep like a story's plot. And last line is, and what is the sound of the bird's bark? Here the word bark has two meanings. One is part of a tree, and the other is sound of a dog. Finally, the poet questions whether the bark of a birch tree can make a sound like the bark of a dog. Students, can you guess which figure of speech is used in the last line? Onomatopoeia. The word bark indicates sound. Here we have finished the explanation of the poem. The tone of the poem is light-hearted and funny. It brings funny images to our mind and pokes fun at the difference of meanings of the same word in the English language. I hope you have understood the poem. Thank you.